Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to go over the necessary CSS to format our headings, our paragraphs, and our lists. Let's get to it. The first thing I'm going to do is change the title of this document. Instead of structure, I'm going to call it headings, paragraphs, and lists. So let's go ahead and type in some headings. For that, I'm going to go to my main content. In the main content, I'll type H1. And there it is. I'll just type something like this is my heading 1. And I'll close the tag. Now H2. This is my heading 2. And I'll close the tag. And I'll just do one more. Heading 3. So H3, and this is my heading 3. And now I'm going to do an unordered list. You can remember I had this before and then I deleted it. That's okay, we can type it again in no time. So UL stands for unordered list, and then LI for list item. So this is first, and I'll close the list. Would be better if it says first, and there you go. Copy that and paste, 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 paste. I'll just have 5, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Now what I need to do is type the code for these. So here we go. We're going to type, and I think I'm going to do it under the body. All right, now I'm going to style the headings. So H1, open, close curlies. And I'm going to make this one, so the font size, let's make it extra large. Let's make the font weight bold, and let's make the font color one of the darkest colors in here, which is this one here on top. And there you go. I will now copy those lines and paste them a couple of times. So for H2 and finally for H3. And I'll make this font size large for H2 and medium for H3. I'm going to give the main content a height of 660 pixels. That way we can see this a little bit better. And I'll save this page and let's see how it looks. And as you can see the heading 1, 2, and 3. And that's pretty good. Let's go ahead now and format the list. So the list is tagged as the LI. So that's what I'm going to format. That's what I'm going to style. So LI. But if I style the LI, it doesn't matter where the list item is, everything is going to get the same styling. I just want to style the ones inside of main content. So I have to write it like that. I will put it right in front of the LI. So dot main content space LI. This will affect only the list items inside of the main content. Now, one of the things that I like doing is that I like changing the dot. In other words, I don't want for those to display as circles or discs or anything like that, but actually as pictures. So to get a picture that I can use, I'm going to use Photoshop. I go ahead and open Photoshop, and I'm going to create a PNG or PNG with a transparent background that I can use to be the dots. And here we go. I'll create a new document. I'll make it for the web, and I'll make it 30 by 30, as in pixels. That might be a little large, but it's okay. Now I'm going to use the custom shape tool, and I'm going to grab a treble clef right here. And now I can just draw it like that. And there it is. I'll delete the background and I'll save this as a PNG. So I'll save it onto the desktop, my new website. I'm going to create a new folder in here. I'll name it Images, and I'll call this Treble. And it's going to have an extension of PNG. Click OK. And now we can go back to Dreamweaver. Alrighty, so in Dreamweaver, I need to tell the CSS what the list style is going to be. And it is just list style image colon, and then I can browse. It's the beauty of Dreamweaver. Select that treble, click OK, and there it is. End it with a semicolon and you got it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit of padding. So padding and padding left. I'll give it 10 pixels. We're going to talk about the difference between padding and margin a little bit later. So padding left, 10 pixels. And then finally, I'm going to give it a color slightly different than the other colors that we saw. And maybe I'll make it white. Why not? And then finally, I'm going to put the list item, so the actual position of the treble clef, I'll put it on the inside so that it doesn't go outside of the main content. So that is just list style position. And again, just inside. If we save that and preview it, there it is. Each one of the lines has a little treble clef. Of course, it's not white, so I wrote the code wrong. Save, and now it's white. And of course, it's putting the treble clef inside of the main content. So let's talk a little bit about the difference between padding and margin. The margin is going to be outside of the actual box, and the padding is going to be on the inside. So what does that mean? I want you to imagine that each one of these tags is surrounded by an imaginary invisible box. So the box that we have for container is going to be 960 pixels wide, while the one that we have for, say, the header is going to be 960 by 90. The height of the container is indeterminate right now. It's going to be determined by the content inside. If you put padding, everything inside of the container is going to move more inside of the container. While if you use margin, anything outside of the container is going to move further away from the container, i.e. outside of the box versus inside of the box. It's the same with the H1 and the H2s and everything else that we have tagged. If I put a margin, it's going to be slightly different than putting a padding. So I'm going to put a little bit of padding on these. So padding left, I'll give it 15 pixels and end it with a semicolon. And I'm going to do the same for all of them. I'll save and let's preview. As you can see, they all moved in. In truth, this is unnecessary, so I'm going to undo several times because all we have to do is give that padding to the main content. So if we have the main content, we can give it padding all around. So just padding will give it all four, top, bottom, left, and right, and I'm going to use 10 pixels. If we save it and preview it, you see that everything is a little bit more inside of the box. If we change that word for margin, this is what happens. The box itself becomes smaller because this was space outside of the box. Right, so I'll undo that and leave it at padding. There you go. In the next video, we are going to discuss navigation. See you then.